Am I the idiot for not charging my son rent on a home he partially owns? My oldest son, 24, is not my wife's biological child, and is my child with my late wife. My late wife and I bought a 3-bedroom house when we got married. When I remarried, my current wife moved into this house with me, but I never put her name on the deed. The house was only in my name. My wife and I ended up having several children and needing to move into a bigger house. When we bought our new home, she wanted me to sell the old one. I said no, that this home was something my late wife and I purchased with the hope of one day passing on to our son. I would make it a rental property instead. That was one of the biggest fights we ever had. She insisted we compromise, but I refused to do so. When my son graduated from college, I put his name on the deed to the house with mine, which was another fight, but I felt he was the appropriate inheritor to his mother's share. I didn't share any of the rental income with him though, as I was still paying all the taxes and insurance. At this point, the mortgage is paid off. I net over $2,000 a month from this house, which goes into the household budget. My son just got engaged and wants to move into the house after he marries his fiancée. He suggested he pay half rent and eventually buy out my share of the house. I told my son I agreed to his plan of saving up to buy out my share, but instead of paying rent, he should just take over the taxes and insurance. We agreed to this. My wife is livid and says I am a massive idiot for dramatically decreasing our household income without consulting her. She likened my decision to financial abuse. I suggested we downsize to a smaller house now that our oldest 2 kids are leaving the nest, and we can rent out the larger one and be in the same situation as before, owning 2 homes and getting rental income from one. She called me a selfish prick and won't speak to me now. Am I the idiot? Now for comments before the update. You're the idiot. Not because of what you've done to your wife, but because of what you've done to your son. Why marry someone who is so entitled and hostile to your son? She wants to appropriate her inheritance for her own gain and has zero care for him. Even the $2,000 a month profit, half of that should have been going to an account for your son from day one. The fact that you can't even get her to show basic care for your son, then why make her your wife? Not the idiot your wife is. She's trying to seize property from your son even though he is the rightful inheritor. She wouldn't do this if it were her biological child. Needless to say, your wife just doesn't care for him. Also, you clearly stated that you already own a large house, and since your kids are moving out, you can move and rent out that house, which will probably bring in more profit. You're being reasonable while she is acting selfish. Update. Thanks to everyone that shared their perspectives. Looking at outside points of view was enlightening. This house is very complicated for me. I bought this house with my first wife, and for a long time, it represented the life not lived, a past that can't be reclaimed. Every room held memories that were a pitfall of emotion. One of the biggest fights I ever had with my current wife was about repainting the toddler's room, which I had last repainted with my late wife. Moving out of that house probably saved my marriage. We got to start over in a home that was just ours. So while yes, the home is a financial asset, it's also a source of emotional turmoil. Each time I walk inside, I'm hit with a bittersweet feeling, as I remember something I did there with my late wife. Anyway, I took my son and his fiancée to dinner. I talked to them about the house and what it represents. They talked about their plans to start a family there, just like his mom and I did. That made me emotional. I said I wanted to go ahead and put the house in both their names, even though they weren't married yet. I've been thinking a lot about his mom lately, and I think this is what she would want. They aren't going to pay me anything, but they are insisting on paying all the fees associated with drawing up a new deed, which is fine. They also don't want me to contribute anything financially to the wedding anymore. I agreed with these things, although I will still get them a gift. For a long time, that house has been full of strangers, but now my late wife's pictures will be on the walls again, and her family will grow inside. I think she will like that. Deep down, I always thought of that house as hers, so this makes me happy. The conversation with my wife was a little more complicated. When I told her I was giving them the houses, not having them buy me out, and I was going to do it before the wedding, she was really annoyed. She said it was a dumb decision, and that I was taking a huge financial risk on someone not even related to me, my son's fiancé. She asked what I would do if they broke up. We argued for a while, but she eventually said she was done talking about it, but that she was very disappointed in me. We've lived in our current house for 16 years. It's a massive home that we don't really need anymore with 1 kid moved out and 2 kids on the verge of moving out. I think we should downsize from a 6-bedroom to a 4-bedroom, but I'm going to wait until she isn't mad anymore to suggest this again. With the way the real estate market has gone, we could rent out the individual rooms in this house for close to 3 times what our mortgage payment on it is, and live in a smaller, more manageable property. She may or may not go for this, it depends. Regardless, we are in a fine financial situation. I feel good about my decision. It isn't about the money, it's about honoring those who are gone, and I feel like I did that, not the idiot. But I'd be very hesitant about putting a fiancé on the deed. At least wait till it's a wife. I've spent enough time on Reddit to know a lot of things can happen between now and the wedding, not the idiot. But please don't talk to your current wife. Stop cutting her out of huge decisions. She's been your partner in everything for many years. Are you going to make the same offer to your other children? Will they all get a house too? Inheriting stuff isn't just about value, it's about feelings too. Many marriages do not last. If you insist upon giving this to your son, put it in his name only. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for turning down a Christmas dinner invitation from my mom's family? So I, female 21, am currently in university and live in a dorm, using my own money and everything. My mom, female 40, had me when she was 19. My dad joined the military to provide, and so he was gone most of the time. My parents split up when I was young and my mom and I moved across the country. My mom started dating again when I was a teenager, and it was like I became invisible. When she married Gregory, male 50, it became even different. I grew really resentful when my mom had a new baby, and I'll admit that it wasn't healthy and neither was my attitude. When the time for university came, I got a good enough scholarship and moved out. I am honestly surprised they noticed I was even gone. I've gotten 2 texts from my mom a year, happy birthday and happy new year. Only this year did I get a 3rd text, and that's just to announce I have a new baby sister. So I got an email the other day that was pretty much an invite to a Christmas dinner that they were hosting, and it seems like a lot of extended family are going to be there. I don't want to be there, so I declined the invite. Yesterday I got a phone call from my mom crying about me deciding not to come for dinner and really wanting to see me. Then Gregory took the phone and all but called me an idiot while scolding me. It made me feel a little bad because she's still my mom and I feel like I should just go for her sake. Now for comments before the update, not the idiot. Only texts from your mom each year? No phone calls until now? You do what suits you. They've treated you like an acquaintance since she started dating and eventually married. It would be only normal for you to not wish to attend. Why waste a holiday with people who treat you that way? Your mother's husband's insults prove how he's felt all along. All the best to you, not the idiot. If your mom doesn't feel the need to stay in contact other than holidays, you aren't obligated to run home just because she asks you to. And the fact that she didn't tell Gregory to mind his own damn business is ridiculous. Update. So my mom's Christmas party went and passed this past Friday, and I figured I'd make this post as an update. Like I thought, my mom phoned me back because my grandma made her. She asked to meet me in person, but I said I didn't feel comfortable. She said she could bring Gregory or grandma if it would help. I said hell no to Gregory, which surprised her, but I did agree to grandma. After snow issues, we met in a coffee shop with grandma claiming she would be a mediator. I looked at my post to see your guys' advice, so I did no guide me before I left. I admitted to mom I didn't want to see her but thought this call would clear the air. I asked why barely only 2 texts a year, and she said Gregory told her college kids didn't need their moms, and she would be interfering. I asked why she couldn't at least phone me to invite me, and she said Gregory told her sending an invite made me on the same level as the other relatives and I would like to be respected. That made no freaking sense to me and I got so mad. I asked why the frick she even wanted me there when she would treat me like extended family. She told me when I was gone seeing how Gregory treated their kids made her realize she neglected me. She'd been going to therapy and wanted us to mend things. I pointed out listening to Gregory about me then was the dumbest possible thing she could do since he never liked me. I knew I'd start crying like a little witch, so I started ranting about how I'd rather not meet my half-siblings since I know I'd resent them. They don't deserve that. How my extended family also cast me out. How everyone blamed therapy not working on me. My mom was shocked, and even more shocked when grandma took my side in everything. I told her I was really sorry that I made her cry and it didn't make me feel better. She forgave me on that but told me it wasn't my fault, and she deserved it. My mom asked if I'd ever come home and I said that Gregory would either need to apologize or die. That was a bit harsh since I don't want him to die, so I said if he leaves forever is good too. My mom said she understood, started crying, apologized like 100 times and asked if she could text or phone me more often. I said sure because it still makes me feel like poop to see my mom cry. Since then, mom has texted me and called me every day but hasn't tried to force things. I did not go to the party since Gregory has not apologized. Grandma has been staying with them and things aren't too good between them. They had big fights over him refusing to say sorry and how they treated me and aren't talking. I don't want my mom's marriage to end for the sake of her other kids, but I can't lie, it feels good to not be ignored. Apparently mom wants to meet on Christmas or Christmas Eve. As long as grandma comes I'll let her, but I don't know if we'll ever be close again. So thanks guys, your advice really did help and I am feeling better mentally. Comments before last update. Not the idiot. Good job sticking to your boundaries. I'm happy your mom is showing growth and realizing what was wrong, and I hope your relationship improves even if you're not super close. Also, a hell yeah to your amazing grandma for sticking by your side and acting as mediator. I hope you have a good Christmas and that things keep getting better for you. Not the idiot. I'm glad that your mother is understanding that she did a disservice to you, and agrees that she neglected you. That's showing a lot more understanding and contrition than many mothers we see on here manage. Final update. So, I did meet with my mom. Grandma came too as per instructions for lunch. We didn't talk about Gregory or anything. It was just a short meeting over coffee. We just talked about school, the engineering program I'm in, guys I've dated and stuff. I guess it was nice to talk about myself even if it was awkward. She did ask me to spend more time with Grandma, and that made Grandma smirk, which means Grandma kept her promise about never revealing we hang out. I paid for Mom as a gift, and she gave me an old baby photo of me that she got redeveloped as a gift. I thought that was nice. I let her hug me goodbye. She didn't cry this time, so I don't feel like crap. It still feels weird, and I know it will for a long time, maybe forever. It's hard letting go of hurt, but it is what it is. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for saying my last goodbyes to a kid I used to nanny for? I, female 28, have been the nanny to this sweet little kid Franny, 8, for the past 3 years. She's honestly such an angel, and I was super lucky to get to take care of her since we got along well and she never really started any trouble. It was also nice since they live in the same apartment complex as me. Anyways, I recently just started dating again for the first time since then due to a rough breakup. I ran into friends' parents while out on a date with my girlfriend who made it pretty clear they were uncomfortable that I was gay. Literally that night, I got a sudden text message saying they found a new nanny that worked better for their needs and that I wouldn't be welcome in their home again and not to contact them. I'm still pissed off, because we got along all fine until they realized I was a lesbian. Anyways, I went the next morning to question them in person since they live a floor up from me and saw they had gotten the neighbor to babysit who recognized me and invited me. In edit, I didn't go in and her parents were normally home during this time, so I expected to talk to them instead. Friend saw me from outside the door, so I kinda loosely said I wouldn't be seeing her for a while, but I cared for her very much. I felt that I couldn't just abandon this kid who I'd been watching for years now without a reason. Anyways, her parents ended up banging on my door today and yelling at me saying I went behind their back to manipulate their kid. Just wanted to hear what people say because I guess I could have emailed/called first asking to see Franny one last time to clear things, but went over in person instead. There's no update this time. Just comments. You're the idiot. You had been fired and went behind the parents' back to contact their minor child. What other boundaries have you crossed? Not the idiot. I don't think the parents would have let you say a last goodbye, and I think that is exceedingly sad. I am an older lady and some neighbors who were nice to me, say 60 years ago, I still appreciate and think about occasionally. Kids do deserve closure and answers. The other neighbor invited you in and you said goodbye.